management. They really have everything that you need for, I would say, in the NFL, sustained success, which is 10 years. How many teams would give their left?
I don't know when he gets to talking, though.
I picked the Patriots to win the game.
Jordan Love, we like the same things. So I'm going to
Jordan Hudson showing up to the basket. Or they put it in very small font. Last thing that just popped in my head, then we'll let you run. Great appearance today. Christian Fauria here with us, Zach Gelb Show, 365 Sports. How about the direction of your alma mater with Colorado? Deion Sanders, the first 2 years, it was fun.
All right, I think this is when it gets about to get juicy. I can look at his face right here and see he ain't really got nothing positive to say. Let's see what bro had to talk about.
Last year with Alchador and Travis Hunter didn't work out well. Was that as what happened a year ago? Was that as good as it's ever going to get for Colorado with Coach Prime?
Well, see, you don't have enough time for me to get into that. See that helmet right there? It's some of my best memories of my life. I'll just put it this way because I don't have.
Yeah, real disclaimer, real quick. I keep it real on my channel. I'm not just gonna say. I'm never gonna say what everybody wants to hear. I'm gonna listen to what he says first, and then I'm gonna tap in. But this is my first time hearing this, so y'all seeing me hearing this first time. I just been seeing this in the news, so I want to see what Brett actually said. So I ain't gonna judge him until I hear what he says.
I'm just not a fan of the coach. I'm not. I'll never be a fan of the coach. I love the school.
All right, he already lost me already. Didn't take me long enough. Didn't take me very, very long to not. I mean, I'm a fan of my coach, so not saying he can't be. Like I said, he can be. This is his opinions. That's his opinion. If he's not a fan, he's not a fan. That's on him. He's a grown man. He can feel however he want to feel. That don't change how I feel, but he can feel how he want to feel. That's respect. Whatever he want to feel, that's on him.
Cool. And this isn't me picking on Deion Sanders because I pick on Joe Gibbs. The worst coach I've ever had was Joe Gibbs. So me picking on Deion Sanders is nothing. I just don't like the way he coaches football. I don't think he's very bright. I don't think he can manage a game. I think there's a lot of flash, but I think there's no substance, and he's got a lot of people like brainwashed.
Okay, so it sounds like he's coming from I believe his son played there at Colorado, but he had him hit the transfer portal. So basically right now he's saying he doesn't like the philosophy, the scheme, how he handles coaching. He doesn't feel like Coach Prime is a big X's and O's guy. That's from what I'm seeing who he's basically saying he feels like Coach Prime is way more hype than he is an actual good X's and O's coach. That's from what I'm hearing he's saying right now.
And we'll see. We'll see what he can do. But I'm not a fan of him. Not a fan of his coaching style, not a fan of his messaging. There's a lot of things, internally that I know about that I'm not a fan of. And it's just not worth my energy to sit there and follow it and go back and forth with the Emperor Has No Clothes crowd that support him regardless of how stupid he is sometimes.
Now that's an interesting point he said, because I'm a person who has dealt with that before, where you can't say anything. You can't constructively criticize. You can't point out some things that were done wrong. You can't say nothing. Now that part, I'm not saying I agree with him, but I've been a part of that before where you can't call out nothing. Like everything has to be Colorado did everything right. They didn't make no mistakes. Y'all, we don't believe. I ain't a part of that crew though, bro. Like you can miss me with that. If you watch football, there's a lot of stuff we did wrong last season. Period. We did a lot of we managed the depth chart wrong. There's people out there that should have never touched the field. We have people on the sidelines that should have been in the games. So there's a lot of stuff that happened last season that I don't agree with 1,000%. And I don't think you have to be a fan and support your team. You got to agree with everything they do. Some stuff is wrong. There's some stuff that people do that's not correct. So I've been there before on that part. As far as I'm not saying him particularly, I'm not saying that I agree with him. I'm not saying I agree with him at all, but I'm saying I've been on the receiving end of talking about Jordan Seaton, saying like, hey, bro, he's looking at teams he's gonna leave, and I got comments that saying fake news. Who do you think you are? Oh, coach, he would never. You don't believe all that. Yeah, you can miss me with all that, bro. So not saying I agree with him, but I've been a part of that I don't know what you want to say, but if you don't agree 100% what everything Coach Prime does or what everything Colorado did, then you just a hater, and then you don't know. Then I'm not a believer. So yeah, that part you can miss me with that though, bro. We're gonna talk real facts on here. You can't be a good football team and move forward if you have feelings about everything. You got to be able to call out people when they do something right and when they do something wrong. If that's what makes a great football team. If you got somebody that's throwing an interception every game and you keep patting them on the back and telling them they're cool, and somebody's eventually gonna have to go to somebody and say, hey, it's not cool right now. We probably should go with the next guy because this dude's throwing an interception every single game. So you gotta be accountable. The Travis Heisman year was a lot wrong with Shedeur changing plays on line of scrimmage and Pat Shimmer. Now we went crazy that year, little bucket. We lost some games, but we left a lot on the field that year. We had a great defense. I mean, I ain't gonna say that we were perfect, but we were a good team in 2024 for sure. We got belt against BYU. This is personal. He has opinion. Who's to say he shouldn't feel the way? But his hatred for the man is general. Okay, Fauria's a dog though. NFL just keeping it 100. Nah, I think I remember him for sure. When people talk about great NFL, name is nowhere to be found for sure. On my channel, I'm not gonna agree with somebody, but I can relate to the experience, like that part where he said, like, you can't say nothing if it doesn't align perfectly with what anything Colorado says, then you're labeled a hater. Then y'all can miss me with that, and I really don't need no support from people like that to where it's like you can't even have an opinion on nothing. You just immediately get labeled as you hating on somebody because you be like, man, bro, he should have called a timeout during that. That would have been smart. And he'd be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You got to trust the process. Like, all right, bro, you got it. Like, at some point, you just get like, all right, you got it on that one.
So, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And it bugs me that a lot of alumni just don't speak up about it. They don't say anything. And, but I will. So,
well, let me follow up then, because obviously you won a national championship there,
Facts.
But the school was irrelevant for a while. And some people say, but Christian, at least we're relevant once again. What do you say to people that say that?
I think that's funny. I was like, wow, they got a new scoreboard. Hey, listen, Fox is like, fine. If that's what if that is what gets you going, then good for you. Like, I don't listen. That's not what. Listen, it's hard to win in Colorado. It's hard to recruit in Colorado. They don't have. I get it. Like they've been bad for a long period.
Yeah, and a lot of this is a good point, bro, because there is a different type of fan. Let me say this. Number one, and this is real talk. There's Colorado football fans, like alumni who love Colorado, and I'm gonna keep it real right now. Never in my life would I have been a Colorado football fan if Coach Prime Deion Sanders didn't go there in that whole movement. I'm keeping it real. I'm a Colorado football fan because of Coach Prime and the movement he got on and the players that he brought there. That's why I'm a Colorado football fan. But then there's there's a group of people who've been Colorado fans before Coach Prime Deion Sanders them ever got there. Were they ass? Yeah. Were they trash? Yeah. But they still were Colorado football fans, and they're going to be Colorado football fans once Coach Prime Deion Sanders moves on. So there's two different fan bases, right? I'm going to always keep it real on my channel, bro, because I got to. I'm going to speak what's on my mind and how I really feel. There's a group of fans that we're going to move. If Coach Prime leaves, we're no longer going to be Colorado fans. We're probably not going to give him our viewership no more. We understand that. But there's still guys in Colorado, like the state of Colorado, the people who live there. That's their football team. You feel me? And then some of these guys who played there before, that's their alma mater. Like, if you ever played for a college football team, it's just like, perfect example. Michael Irvin with Miami. You can't say nothing about Miami, bro. Miami is his alma mater. Miami University is his alma mater. All the times they've been horrible. We heard Michael Irvin speak out on trash coaches at Miami. Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp. They spoke on coaches at Miami that weren't getting it done because that's their alma mater and they feel passionate about the school. So there's a different fan base out there, bro. Some of them are Colorado football fans. They're going to be Colorado football fans when we gone. The people who support Coach Prime. And I mean, Colorado's my team right now, but I'm going to keep it real. Colorado's my team right now because I rock with Coach Prime in the movement, bro. I'm going to keep it a band. But there's people who, and there's also real X's and O guys who played in the NFL who just ain't with the sensitive stuff too. A lot of stuff in football is just, real rah-rah guys who played with real people like, think about Ray Lewis, think about hard-nosed guys that are John Lynch in your face, like, hey, get it done. I don't want to hear the reason why it didn't get done or this and that. It's like on the field, we got built. So there is that crew that's just sick of the excuses. They don't want to hear what happened in 2025, and that's what happens in a losing season. I wasn't happy about what happened in 2025, but there's some people who just ain't got no grace. They don't have no emotions for it, bro. They're just flat out. It didn't get done. After Prime being the championship, they will be cheerleading. Hey, that's a great point. Reign Supreme 79. We got to get it done. Got to be a fix like Coach BM. Hopefully he helped Coach Prime with his being. Yeah, and then you got to salute to Coach Prime. He fixed some of those issues. Like we all seen what happened with Shermer and Brett Bartolone. Hey, Coach Prime picked up the phone, got in contact with the agent, and said, hey, I need somebody who can run it like a head coach. Real X's and O's guy. Somebody I ain't even got to listen to. I could put my headset down and I know Brendan Marion is flowing through the headset and I trust what he got going on. So he fixed a lot of those problems that we seen last season too. So we got to give credit. I got to give credit where credit's due. Colorado versus everybody, even for this match. Willie G, yes, sir. Yes, sir. D3, Prime brought me to see you just like I was watching JSU when Prime was there. This is normal to stay. Fans of players and coaches don't follow. It's just being disingenuous. Yeah, not for sure. Like I said, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We don't have to agree with it neither. I don't have to agree with it. Just like everything I say, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I just feel like there's former NFL guys who played in NFL that seen some of the X's and O's stuff and was like, nah, bro, we got to get this right. And I'm not saying that they're wrong when it comes to X's and O's. Now, when people go overboard and it just blatantly just looks like you hating on somebody, that's where we got a problem. But calling out something as far as football-wise, like formations, substitutions, calling timeouts, questionable stuff, hey, that's football. If you don't have somebody that'll challenge you, then you're never going to be a good football team. But the fact that Coach Prime came out and took accountability already and said that's on him, I think what more do you ask for at that point, though? Like, he already came out and said that was on him. So people, yeah, this guy, Christian Fauria, obviously has his own feelings about how he feels the program. He just doesn't agree with his coaching method and coaching style. That's cool. The 94 CU offense was nasty. Salam and Westbrook both went in the first round. Cordell Stewart and Ford were in the second round, all offensive line guys. That's what I'm saying. That's a great point, Gearhead. You got guys that have been rocking with CU through the highs and the lows. So you got people who've been there and they done it a different way. Like they sung the fight song. They were, they didn't do it this way. You feel me? This is a new way. And like I always say, as Colorado fans, if you go back and look, it looks crazy when we do it our way and we don't put belt. We're opening ourselves up for the most criticism ever because that's just how it looks, bro. You know how it is. You know the perception. You know what comes with that. If we popping it, if we walking it, if we doing it if we represent it, the only way it works is when we pop it and we put belt. That was the Coach Prime way, though. Coach Prime, you knew what he was going to do. He was going to line up on the best receiver. He was going to look good, feel good, high step, dance in the end zone, but he backed it up. So that's one thing we got to do in Colorado is we got to back it up as his team. That's way nobody has nothing to say. But when you go 3-9 and 1-8, it opens the door for criticism. That's in any sport, bro. Winning brings celebration and cheer. Losing brings criticism and doubt. That's a fact.
Period of time. And it takes a special person. It's going to take a special person. So initially, I was all for it. I was backing everything that he was doing because that's what Bill McCartney did. Very unpopular, So he had to have the courage of his convictions, and then ignore everybody else. But as time went on, I'm just like, wait, none of this makes any sense. I'm like, how long are they going to put up with this? And what else are we going to do? So if relevancy and having a sold out crowd, having people talk about you on Twitter, if that's what you want, well then congratulations, you've achieved it. But I just don't know, like, if is that the end goal, just to be
okay? That right there, it's like, come on, bro. That's not the end goal, though, bro. Like, duh. You think that's the end goal? You think that's the end goal, though, bro? So that's where sometimes people mask their true opinions, how they really feel about people and comments and questions like that. If that's your end goal is to just have a sellout crowd and have people talk about you, bruh, do you really think that's somebody's end goal? Do you really think Coach Prime Deion Sanders wants to go out there and get belt just for people to say, I sold out the crowd and I got people and people are talking about it. So nah, see, this is when it starts getting, people start masking their true feelings in the questions that they ask. So if that's your only goal is to, just put butts in the seats and then have people talk about you, then do you think we wanted to go 3-9 and 1-8 last season, bro? Do you think he stands up there in front of the team and gives his speech and talks about mama and them and your grandma and back in the hood and auntie and them? Do you feel like people say that? Do you think people do that because they want to go 3-9 and 1-8? Nah, bro. So that's where people can miss us with, is like us as the fan base only care about, no, we don't care if we win or lose at Colorado. Nigga, I was sick. I was flipping this table over last season, turning the TV off. Nah, I wasn't juiced when we lost the game. I think the talent evaluation wasn't right last year for some reason. You can't put players in the right position, but the playoffs made facts. That's okay to take. That's okay to say too, Reign Supreme. Don't let nobody tell you that, oh, you don't believe, or oh, you don't believe in Coach Prime. Don't let nobody say that. That's absolutely correct. They did get it wrong last season, and it showed in our play. So it's okay to say that, bro. I'm glad you said that. Don't feel bad. Don't let nobody make you feel bad for saying that. That's an accurate statement. That's no feelings involved. That's not emotions involved. That's using your football IQ. You ain't got to feel bad to say that. You feel me? Sometimes people who go in early rounds in the draft, they turn out to be nothing. And then sometimes people go in draft, they turn out to be stars. Facts. Look at Tom Brady. A lot of situations. Look at the wide receiver for the New York Giants, who used to do the salsa when undrafted, just look for his opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not about where you're drafted, is what you do with your opportunity. This is his claim to fame. Yeah, I mean, some of the points I was understandable. Then when you get to that point, when you say, well, if selling out the crowd and you guys getting talked about is all you want, bro, nobody, Rick George, all this money, all this NIL money we paying people, that was not the goal. Now, did it happen? Yeah, it was bad coaching, bad players. We didn't get it right in 2025. But was that what we were looking for? Like, we were okay with it? Nah, bro. Nobody was okay with that last season. Nobody, including us, the fans, bro. Nobody was just saying that's what we were looking for this season. Let's go out there and sell out Boulder, and let's get talked about by every media outlet and make us look crazy. That's not, anybody wouldn't have signed up for that, bro. So that's when people start just throwing their little jabs, for sure, throwing your little jabs in your comments.
Be relevant to have a new scoreboard, to have people talking about you, or do you want to win games? Win games the way you win games, the way you recruit, like know everybody's name, give everybody the same attention, sing the fight song, learn the fight song. I would say then, you got business, but right now, all your victories are hollow in my book. If all you care about is relevancy, they're hollow. They mean nothing. Win the Big 12. Go ahead, win that.
All right, if you guys have played college football before, right? There's almost 80 something people on the team. Not everybody's going to have the relationship Travis Hunter had with Coach Prime. Not everybody's going to speak to the head coach on a regular basis. Like, I played college ball. Did I talk to the coach every day after practice? Did he have players he was more closer to? Probably had players that he had built a relationship with. Not everybody's going to have that relationship with the head coach. They might have a more closer relationship with their position coach. They might have a closer relationship with, a lot of the times, the assistant coaches have better connections with the players than the head coach. It depends on who you match with, who you vibe with. So knowing every single player's name, anybody of course you want to get familiar with their names, but I don't know what he was getting at there. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what he's getting there. I mean, if you played college ball before, you might be a receiver and you might be super close with your receivers coach. You might be a running back and be super close with the DB's coach. You know what I'm saying? It fluctuates depending on what personality fits you best. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Hold on, where I skip. All right, we got to accept the criticism because we was piss poor last season. We win games. We want to hear this combo. Let's start building culture and win games. Not facts. And I feel like everybody's at that point right now. The gold jackets, the Hall of Fame, the analysts, the X's and O guys, coaches in college football who can look at Colorado and say, who can break down our film and say where we went wrong, where I would have never called that. I would have never been in that coverage. I would have never ran that formation. Yeah, we got to do better. Facts. I mean, football is football. That's the greatest thing about football is everything's put on film. Everything you can go back and look at. So whatever we talk about, whatever people are saying, even us, even whatever Colorado, we could say it was this fault. When you go on the field, the eye and the sky don't lie. So we're making crucial adjustments this year. And that's the beautiful thing about heading into 2026 is we're making the adjustments, right? Let me get this dude off the screen. He's pissed. Bro still using 2023 talking points, biased by his son's stint at CU being legacy. Yeah, that's exactly